welcome to Control the Cool TV with your host Suleiman Anquay, Amir Kinsler, and Joe Woods. You got the one and only Do It All Dupré Kelly. He's more than an activist, hip-hop artist. He's just an all-around great dude. He does big things. He keeps doing it all for not just New York, but for the world. So we thankful to have you here tonight, brother.
Thank you guys for having me, man. You got to control the cool, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's right.
right. About that. So I'm gonna just get into it real quick, brother. What is 211 Community Impact, and what does it actually do for the youth around here?
So 211 Community Impact is a nonprofit organization founded in the city of Newark, New Jersey, founded by myself and two others. And it was initially created to help the residents and the people in the community with literacy. And not literacy in the educational sense, that too, but not just in that sense, because there's a lot of different policies and legislation that has to do locally with our community that the residents have no idea of, that the parents have no idea of. When I say literacy, it's to help a parent understand what it is, their rights for their children in their schools. It's literacy in the sense of you going to council meetings and knowing your rights as a resident within this city of Newark, New Jersey. So that was one, the couple of ways. And of course, the main way of education, some of our children are reading at a higher grade level than their parents. Some of the parents read probably below a third grade reading level. And they're embarrassed about when their child asks them for help them with homework or ask them about certain things, they get embarrassed. So instead of being embarrassed, they'll push it away. And then that doesn't really help them or the child, you know what I mean? So it was literacy in that sense. And then in another sense, it was, it is community, impact. What can we do in the community hands-on that we can have a direct impact with the people? And that is by being hands-on, by catering to the needs of the people as you see it. Like, don't get me wrong. When you see a Queen Latifah, shout out to Queen Latifah. When you see a Shaquille O'Neal, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. They help us from afar because they get to put us on platforms and represent us on platforms that some of us can't get to. But actually, that's one good thing. But the people on the ground, with their boots on the ground, they understand the city a little differently because they're hands-on, they're direct. Anytime that you're direct with someone, you understand that Ms. Williams has a rodent problem on South 13th Street because you're there, you see it. Shaq might not know that. Latifah might not know that. Ms. Bagley might have a problem, or Mr. Bagley, with group of people hanging out on a South Orange Avenue in a certain number block. You know that because you're there. So you actually can be active about it and go talk to them. Look, I know what y'all doing, whatever, but y'all supposed to make such and such, make sure she's safe or the children are safe when they come around here. Or because you want to keep the cool and control the cool between the community and the people. You see what I did there, right? You see what I did?
So I got a question for you. What would be the steps to actually get to that point to where you can reach out to somebody who's on I'm going to say lower level from where you may be, or where the mayor or anything else, even in the city of Newark or even surrounding areas? How do we impact our community by using some of those steps that you had?
Well, that's a great question, man. And my answer to that question is action. And I'll give you an example. So when I first started, I've been doing community activism work for years before I even realized what it was. And I learned by working with a guy who used to be my manager, a brother by the name of Hafiz Fareed, who actually was an aide for Councilman Ralph T. Grant Sr., back in the day. So I learned from them by utilizing the power of Lords of the Underground, going out into the community, even before Lords of the Underground, going out into the community, so I learned that from them. And that what I learned was action, just do. So when I came here, there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with. When I say came here, I mean, I'm born and raised here, but when I came back here after living in Paris for a year, living in LA for almost a year, when I came back home, it made me realize, how can I address these problems that I'm not feeling? I can't just talk about it, because if I talk about it, then people have something to say. You know, you just have to be about it. So my answer to your question, Amir, is that you have to be about the action. You have to be about the action. So anything that you don't feel, go to the council meetings and show up. You know, make your presence known when it's time to be about the action. And being about the action is actually doing things that addresses or finds the solutions to whatever the problem is. For instance, I'll give you an example of a guy from my old block said, "Dude, I see you do the book bag drives doing around school time. I want to buy everybody in my neighborhood," because he moved out. "Everybody in my neighborhood, I want to support them with book supplies and book bags." And one of my mans was like, "Oh, he just trying to copy off you." I'm like, "Copy off of me? What do you mean? We want that type of copying?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that ain't copying. That's inspiring. That's, you know what I mean? Because here's somebody who hustles in the streets, but he notices that his block and the parents on his block can't really afford that. So by him seeing me in action, doing what I do, made him wanted to get into action. And that's what it's all about, man. If we can inspire, each one, all of us to do something better than we are right now, then we'll be in a better place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, plus the brother asked you. He came to you and asked you how to do it. So
yeah. It was no gimmicks,
because they think
man.
it's hard. It's not hard, man. We probably some of the little things that we can do in our community, man. I know just from some of my homies, we blow that in just by walking into a spot, whether it's food, club, a venue, or we just blow. Whether you taking your lady out, like we blow that just. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I dig that, man, and I feel that. And a lot of people need to just, I guess, sometimes play their role. If you have to stand back and let people do something. If they are about action, like you said, they can't be upset about you doing something if they're not doing anything.
You know what, too, though, man? That's right. I like what you said. That there are soldiers for everything. There's soldiers. There's generals. There's lieutenants. There's captains. Everybody plays a part. Somebody might be able to relay or express a message more eloquently than the next man. He might be a scholar orator. When this other person might be muscle and he's lifting things up and putting them down. You know what I mean? He's moving the needle physically. And then there's some other people who are intellectuals who set the plan and agenda for those other two to do what they do. So everybody plays a part. All I was asking just to be is part of the whole. I'm not acting like I run this, run that. All I do is whatever my skill set, my relationships, and my resources allow me to do. And what I look at that as being part of the big picture, being part of the whole. And the people who I see are outside of those boxes. I have a skill set to be able to galvanize them and maximize them and let them know you're not using your potential. Like, look, this is how we activate it. This is how we get it motivated. The next thing you know, we all working as one cog, man, and one wheel and just moving everything forward.
Do you think, even as I know you said we all have to get together and work together, but I think that one of our issues, especially as a Black community, is that we don't do that. We have we like crafts in the barrel, and one of even on the show here, with the three of us, man, we really support each other for everything, and I think that's important. Like if I need and I've said this even on previous shows, and I don't say this to be boisterous or because I'm always gonna be down for my team, but if I need something drawn, if I need a picture or if I need a painting, I got two guys I could choose from. If I call Slim, he say, "Yo, man, I can't do it." I call Joe. If I can't call Joe, then Joe, his responsibility, or if you vice versa, say, "Yo, man, me and Slim can't do it, but I know somebody else that can."
Right.
The problem I think that we're having as a Black community is that we're always trying to pull each other down. Like we literally crabs in the barrel. Instead of us pulling, and I'm just going to use you, Do, as just an example. Instead of us, trying to pull you down. Oh, nah, he ain't this and he ain't that. Like, nah, bro, you push my back so I can get him over this fence. Because
Right.
over the fence, you're gonna throw that ladder over and get the rest of us over too. And one thing that I always say, even when it comes to us three, is listen, we all have to build a bridge. Joe, you got one side, I'll take one section. Slim, you got one section. Just keep paving. So now we all can get over, but now everybody that's behind the scenes, everybody that's looking at control the coup, everybody that's looking at a do it all. Now we can say, yo, we got a bridge over here. We could call you like, hey, listen, we got a little movement over here. It may not be as big as yours. We got a bridge. How can we swing this thing over to where you are? And I think it's an important factor to where we need to be as a community because of everything we had.
I totally agree, man. It's like, you know, one thing I learned about our city, man, I love our city of Newark, New Jersey, but a lot of times we operate in silos. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people doing so many great things, but they're doing those great things alone. Right now. And we have to learn how to do it together, because together we get farther. You know what I mean? And that's just it. Like, there's a lot of great silos that are doing great things, but if we really want to have an impact, and that's what I was doing lately. I've been analyzing who my company is, what my company is, even just by having a name, because I believe that name denotes ownership. You know, even what you do with the words, Slim, you know, you turn those words into building blocks of creativity, and you paint, you know, and it's the same thing, man. You know, I just believe, like, 211 community impact. What are we really impacting in the community? You know, I have to analyze and ask myself that at times. And how do we make a greater impact than we made yesterday, and whatever it was that we were doing or involved in. And I came up with the thing to make the greater impact is not going to come from me solely. It's going to come from a unified front. But how do we get the unified front to be united? You know, and that's the problem that I believe we've had over years. And I'm not saying that there haven't been some of the organizations trying it, but somewhere it gets defunct. You know what I mean? And I believe that's why I wanted to pull, even when we did the call the other night, I wanted to pull people who were actually doing the work in their own life, you know, and just try to assemble them, because I'll give you an example. There's the PPE program that the federal and the Small Business Association that they're doing with nonprofits and small businesses and all of that. And they pay you for your employees that you have going through this time, and they give you a grant or a loan that can turn into a grant later. And I think one of the grants, you get $1,000 per employee, right? And let's just say you have 10 employees. So that's $10,000 that you get, that you're supposed to soften the load on your employees, right? And then you get money that goes towards how much you ever filed for. Let's say you filed for $500,000 for you know, your business with taxes. What happens is, imagine if we were all united as not our own nonprofits, because our own nonprofits, what if we making $50,000 to $250,000 a year, then we might get, you know, anywhere from $15,000 to $100,000 as one entity. But if we had 10 organizations that were united under one umbrella, all still doing our individual stuff, but also as united as power, then we probably get $2-3 million as an entire collection. So now what can we do with that? Because what you're gonna do with your $15,000 to $50,000 alone, you're gonna take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Your company, whatever that is. But if you get $3 million, now we can take care of the community in our name. You know what I mean? We can build buildings, schools, education. We can just do much more than $15,000 to $50,000 when you get $3 million because you're a united front. You know, and I think that we have to start thinking in that mindset, because we always, you know, a lot of us, I'm not gonna say all of us, but a lot of us believe that, oh man, if I put, you know, the old group effect, man, if we put another person in the group, we gotta split it 6 ways. You know what I mean? I'm telling Norcas, man, to put another person in the group.
It's funny that you said that, because Joe, that's what Joe was saying. We had a few episodes back, Joe, well, between us three, we just having a general conversation, and we had a heated conversation because we was pissed with all the killing. And like,
Oh yeah,
We probably should have taped that because all three of us literally, we on the phone and we pissed. You know what I'm saying? And Joe said something crazy, and Joe, I'm pretty sure he can expound on it. He said, Joe, we need to be together, but we need wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Joe, right.
I just found out, and I'm gonna be honest, I never knew this, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that they had pretty much like a whole town, all black businesses. And then the white members of the KKK and people that were hating came and they burned it down. But we talking about
Black Wall Street, man.
Black Wall Street. I heard about it.
Legitimate black businesses that were crazy. And I always thought Black Wall Street was primarily also in New York, but now that you're learning that, that was just a movement that was in different places in the country. It's amazing. Like, but Joe, you was definitely right when you said, like, we gotta have wealth.
We're gonna do it again though. We're gonna do it. I mean, that's one of my goals. As long as I'm a body and mind in this vehicle that my energy is in, that's one of my goals, man, to build a community for us that all of us can, survive and thrive off of. And it's no disrespect to anybody of any other race or color, but it's just saying that we're going to provide for ourselves. Now, if you're a friend to us, if you're an ally to us, then that doesn't mean you're excluded. But you're going to go through a vetting process of, you know what I mean? Just like you take us through vetting process. We're going to make sure that you for our culture, for us, by us.
That's right.
And I'm talking about from healthcare to housing, to education, to employment, and we have into education, right? To training, because we have to teach each other all of this stuff. And I guarantee you, man, there's so many areas in Newark that I would love to do with 2 ways in and out. You know what I mean? And build a community and put our own policing in that area as our own security, put our own stores and all of that. I just believe we have enough wealth amongst our culture to be able to build cities and of that nature. But we get so scared of losing things, right? We get so scared of losing. Oh, my child goes to a great school. If I act up, then I lose that. Oh, I make 6 figures plus a year. If I act up, I lose that. We're so scared of losing. We want to gain wealth from different economics. We want to team up. What's the saying? How the saying goes that every man want heaven, but no man want die. And that's the same thing. It's like every man wants the beautiful paradise, but no man want to fight to go get it. And the fight to go get it is we're gonna have to sacrifice, right? That's what a lot of all of the gospel or whatever religious type of scriptures you believe in. They all say that, right? They talk about sacrifice. And to have this great gain that we want for our people, for our culture, it's going to take great sacrifice. And that means that the Oprahs of the world, the Diddy's, all of the entertainers,
the Jay-Z's, the Beyonce's,
millions of dollars, they're going to have to share in that wealth. And that's going to, and they can start building a community and set the bylaws of how do you live in that community. They can start that. They can bring policing in our community. And I think that, we so scared of things that happened before us. If they kill Martin Luther King, we scared to speak out now. They killed Malcolm X, we scared to speak out. They beat Mattel for whistling at a white lady to death. So we scared to speak out. They even the Black Panthers, who were hard, they were some of the hardest activists we've ever seen in our lives, with rifles and shotguns, feeding breakfast and teaching education to our people in our community. They ran up in their homes while they were asleep and murdered those people. Just murdered them for no reason. So when you talk about pro-intel and all of that type of stuff, it scares people to be activists. It scares people to be leaders. They'd rather just follow the status quo and be comfortable. But, we all know that nothing grows being comfortable. So we have to be irritated. That's why, all of these killings have irritated us once again, you know? So, you know, that's why you see the growth. That's why you see Christopher Columbus statue getting torn down in Newark, New Jersey at 12.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Man,
Just saw that.
That was
I
crazy.
just saw that.
Listen, I
just saw that.
and I ain't realizing it until this morning. Like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I do want to say one thing. You forgot two companies. You said Diddy, you said Oprah. You forgot to say Dupré Kelly, and you forgot
That's right.
to say Cool, because you start speaking those things into existence, man, God will open up a door. So
That's fact.
So add yourself to that list.
That's
Yeah.
right, man. Dupré
Yeah.
Kelly, 211 Community Impact. And we're going to add the E to that accent. We're going to change that Dupré to Dupré.
Dupré.
There we go.
So listen,
But control the cool, Dupré Kelly, man, 211 Community Impact, man. Do it all media, all of that, man, because we have to be our own voice. We have to be our own caretakers and healers and keepers of, you know, our own historians. Because like they say, man, it'll be his story if we let it go. You know what I mean? And Tupac could be white in 60 years or 160 years.
Oh.
You know, and that's no disrespect to white people. It's just that if you allow them to control the narrative, all we asking is to control our own narrative, man. Let's speak truth in the power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said Tupac just now, right?
Right.
Like, all right, you ran for council. I heard it was a conversation you had with Tupac about 20 years ago. Can you just kind of expand on how he actually motivated you to kind of do the things you're doing now?
Yeah, so we were in Florida. We were on Tupac tour. When I say we, I'm talking about Lords of the Underground. Shout out to my crew, man, Mr. Funky Man, DJ Lord Jazz. But we were on tour with Tupac. So it was Outkast was opening up for us. Janae, y'all remember the hip hop group? Janae. They were coming on next, and they had Fam with them. They had Fam from Rascals. Shout out to Fam.
Yeah,
and they would come on. He was on tour with them doing his part with the Hey Mr. DJ. And then you had Patra. You know, you had Lords of the Underground coming on next after Janae. Then you had the reggae artist Patra, and then you had Pop closing it out. So one time, you know, my brother, Mr. Funk, he used to be late a lot, and we was sharing a van with Pop. So Pop flipped one day, like talking in third person to his Thug Life crew. Y'all remember when he was with the Thug Life crew before the Outlaws?
Yeah.
And, yo, this my tour, people be coming on the van late, you know, and he was just talking slick. So I, being from Newark, I felt like he was dissing us. So I started talking slick. You know what I mean? Now I'm kind of in a argument, not really arguing, but argument. And then my partner gets on the van and the conversation ends. So me and Pop was kind of heated. So just to fast forward, later that day, after the show and everything, he came back to my hotel room, well, motel back then, and he had 2 40s in his hand. That's when people used to drink 40s. He had a blunt behind his ear. He had a Thug Life t-shirt, but the eye had a bullet on it. It was a black shirt with white and gold like print on it. And when I saw him out the window, I'm like, here we go. We about to get back into this. I called Lord Jazz and told him Pac was at my door. And he was like, yo, you want me to come up there? I'm like, nah, he dolo. He by himself. I'm just letting you know, just in case, you know what I mean? And he's like, all right, that's what's up. Let me know what happened. So I open the door. I stand there. Pac goes, you gonna let me in? I let him in. He hands me a 40. That's when we had 2 beds in the room. He hands me a 40. You know, he pulls the blunt from behind his ear. He sparks it. He cracks his 40. And he looks at me and he says, you know you was wrong, right? And I was like, oh, what? And he's like, you know your man was wrong, but that's why I rock with you. He didn't say rock back then. He probably said that's why I F with you. But he said, that's why, because you took up for your man and you know he was wrong. And I ain't saying that. I still ain't admit that he was wrong, but he was dead wrong. You know what I mean? And just to fast forward, man, like that's the night I really got cool with Pop, because we talked about, he was like, dude, we got to get more popular because we got to go back to our perspective. Now, mind you, we're only 20 years old, 21 years old. And he's like, yo, we got to go back to our prospective cities. It's like Tretch need to go to Illtown. You need to go to Newark. You and Redman need to go to Newark at that time, he was saying. Or Redman might just had came in. But he was like Rashid from Chicago, Common. You need to go to Chicago. Ice Cube and South Central, and I'll go back to Oakland or Maryland, but we need to take our fan to get more voters, and we need to do youth programs. And then he was going on and on like Black Panther stuff, but he said the main thing we need to do is we need to get involved with policy and legislation. And I was like, yeah, well, how we do that? He said, we got to become elected officials. Now this is 2021. I'm like, man, ain't nobody becoming no elected officials. Because, in hip hop, you a politician, you Giuliani or something, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't thinking about that. But here's this 21-year-old talking about those are the people who affect laws locally, that affect laws on the federal level. And we need to become lawmakers. That's the only way that our people are going to get their fair share. And I'm like, wow. So it didn't resonate as much as it did as I started to get older. The conversation just made me go, wow. So yeah, Pac did play a part of my decision. It wasn't the total thing. It's just like, so many pieces of a puzzle come together to make a whole. And he was definitely one of the pieces that came together in my mind that changed my mindset.
It's funny that you said that, because I'm originally from Pittsburgh. And I moved up to Passaic, New Jersey, 2000. And as I was there, I seen changes that were going, because I met up with this woman named Saida Brown.
I know Saida.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I did the last year. I did she's the first person I went to the United Nations with.
Okay.
Yeah, she had me build at the United Nations. Word.
Yeah. So me and her, we used to do an entrepreneurial group, I think twice a month, where you come in, you have your homegrown business, you tell them what it's about, and you try to sell stuff. And when you come back, you at least bring one or two more people into the group, so we can grow it. Everybody comes together as a community, Black folks in particular. And I would always stand up and say, look, we have to do this, because as I would move to Passaic, I would look around. I would see that the Hispanics, they would go into politics.
Yeah.
Okay? They were in Congress and stuff like that. And I would go to the supermarket, I think it's the ShopRite, and I noticed that there's all Hispanics working there.
Yeah.
Come to find out, a Hispanic bought that bad boy, hired their own people.
That's right.
The VFW, they bought that. They start putting nonprofit groups in there for them.
Yep.
Down at the
you can't even be mad at them.
Yeah, you can't. And they ran, and Main Street is strictly Hispanic.
That's right.
And I would tell them every time at this meeting, I would tell them, we have to come together. You see the Hispanics, they're doing it all the time. They're running you out your own neighborhood. You go to them, but you won't go to your man who does the same job.
Same job, man. Pay your man.
Yeah, same job. Yeah. And I also would tell them, stop trying to make $1 million in 1 week.
Right.
You go into, like I said, the hair salon. You go to the hair salon, and they charging you an arm and leg. That's why they'll go to the Dominicans when they do a doobie for like $5.
What you gonna do?
You get a wash and $10.
Yeah. And I would just express this every single time, and I still do it today. You have to come together. Like you said, you got to get into politics. You got to get in a position of power so we can handle our business. Until then, you're going to let everybody else who ain't even legal overstep on you and get more power than you.
Yeah, and shout out to all my Latinas and Latinos. Man, you can't be mad at them.
No,
because they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're taking care of their culture. They're taking care of their people. So, all that should really do is motivate you to come together, click up. We believe because we have Black people in power or in certain areas and certain locales that's enough. But we need it on every parameter. You know what I mean? We need it everywhere. Somebody has to be in politics. Somebody has to be in education. Somebody has to be police. Somebody has to be fire. Somebody has to be a community organizer. Somebody has to be in every aspect. Somebody has to be developers, to build up these people and hire our own. And that's what we have to start teaching, and believe that just because you got it, that doesn't make you better than me or me better than you. But together it makes us better than a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And also we got to get knowledge and finding money. You know, that loan, that grant, have somebody who knows how to write proposals, and, you know, to get that money. You know, we don't have, if we come together, there's somebody in that group who knows how to do this.
Got it though.
So it's almost like we have so many people that's we have so many people that do great things on their own. Just connect the puzzle. Because right here in this little session right here, we got a lot. We have a videographer, a photographer. We have 2 artists, graphic designers, and we have you, who's hip hop and philanthropist, and this has a lot of community outreach. So that's a good hub to start from as well. And people we know, we just spread out to them and bring them in and push our mission.
And plus you are an influencer. You can influence the influencers as well. You know, you got the pull to grab those Queen Latifahs, to grab those Shaqs, to come down here, pound that pavement with you, let them see what's going on, and then have them come up with the money, you know, and say, okay, we see what's going on.
Right.
We'll help you out. We gotta have that. Definitely.
Right, man. That's real spit, man. And it's, you know, heavy's the load, man. It's a heavy load. You know, it's a heavy responsibility that no man shouldn't even really want to lift on his own. You know, it's a heavy load. So, you know what, man? Running a campaign made me eat humble pie. I don't like asking anybody for anything. I don't like asking people for, and doing a campaign, you have to ask everybody for everything. You know what I mean? So it's like the things that you want comes great sacrifice, because you're gonna have to do something that you're either not used to, that you don't know how to do, or that you do not want to do. You know what I mean? But that's where the friction comes in. That's where the static comes in. That's where being uncomfortable comes in. You know, and that's what it means when you're growing. It is uncomfortable. You know, so I had to go through that. But you need money to win, or you're gonna be spending your own diamonds. People still investigate you when you do that. So
I think that's it's crazy that money has to dictate what we get, because I believe you had a nice seat to be there. Your motive and your message and your mission should allow you to be there. It's a shame that money dictates that you can't be there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, Sue, because money, we have to understand, has a certain power that and influence and persuasion over people that, you know, that just economics controls. People want to be better than others, or better in the current position that they are in. I don't care if you get $1 million, you know, next week somebody's gonna want 2. You know what I mean? You become a billionaire, somebody's gonna want 2 billion. You know, so everybody always wants better. You know, if you get an incredible house on a hill and you see mine's going up a little bigger than yours across the way on the hill, you're like, man, I either gotta move to a bigger hill. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody wants to be better than the next man. I don't care which level that you are on. But, you know, it's just crazy, man. It's real, like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
All we need.
All
we need is a group of people. Maybe like, let's just say we got about 500 strong.
Right.
People who are down for the cause. If they put in $50 each every month, that can do damage. That can do damage. $50 ain't nothing. $50 ain't nothing. You got 500 people putting in $50. That can go towards something. That can save up to maybe buy a building or rent, put a down payment on a building, and then work from there. After that's come up, you keep putting $50 in, buy another building, buy equipment, do something like that. But folks are afraid to put $1 in. They're afraid to put $1 in. I had an argument. I shouldn't say I have few arguments all the time on Facebook with brothers and sisters, and I tell them the same thing. He goes, "Why you want to have another Black Wall Street so we can all be all in one section so they can bomb us all together?" I'm like,
you know what I'm saying? You see the fear? You see the fear?
That's fear.
I tell them all the time. I say, if you don't do it, you'll never do it. You're getting what they want. Not only that, if we can build a community, we got to build a militia. We got to build a military. You have, there's no choice. You can't have a peace. You can't have a community without something to protect it, or else they're going to come in and take it over. I tell them about the 3 M's. You got the missionaries, you got the merchants, and you got the military. That's how they take over. They come in with the missionaries, they soften you up. Then they say, okay, now we got you softened up. We'll bring in the merchants. The merchants come in, take over, and next thing you know, once they take over, they bring in the military to protect all that.
Yep, that's facts. Any book you read in, the merchant is heavy in there.
So all I'm saying is, where can I put my 50? Do y'all take credit?
Yeah.
we ain't got to sit over here and talk about it. Hey, yo, dude.
I'm always down. If
we putting a team together, man. We putting a team of captains together, man. Sully was on the call last week. We're gonna do another call this week. We're probably gonna do it Monday because I'm shooting a video. I'm shooting a video at Riz Sunday. So we're gonna probably do it for Monday. And we got some great people involved, man. We got the senator, we got the congressman, we got the freeholders, we have unions, we have other community-based organizations who are doing well out here. We have attorneys, we have executives.
You got control of cool.
So you know, we got control of cool, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, dude.
Listen, dude, I want to say thank you for allowing me into that meeting, man. That was a very powerful meeting. Like, it was a lot of connections through that thing. I was like, I didn't know what to expect when I saw and heard all the names and saw the faces. I was like, wow, this can be Black Wall Street. You understand? This can be the connection to get us to that Black Wall Street. And I see that happening as long as we keep pushing.
Well, see, that's my thing, man. That's the thing that I like to do. Like, I don't know if I took an assessment test, right? What's the cheat notebooks that we used to have?
Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. So the Cliff Notes is just a smaller version of, of whatever it is you're trying to go through. But the guy, Cliff, I forgot his name, but he actually wrote a book about how to access different things within your mindset, right? And just a long story short, I took an assessment test made by this psychologist, this doctor, and it said that I was a maximizer. And now you're answering the questions yourself of who you are. And it just say, with all of that you said about yourself, this is what we believe that you are, right? And it said that I was a maximizer. And through being a maximizer is I accept that in the sense that when people get around me, I don't care what level they are, I try to make them see the potential in themselves and see the thing that they do the best and try to get them to maximize that. Like, okay, you might not be good at baseball, but you might not be good if I put you on the field, but it's something about you can hit this ball though. You can't hit base hits enough, but you know, out of 100 swings, you send 40 of them over the gate. I could utilize that for something. I might can't utilize you through the whole game. So you know what? I'm gonna make you the pinch hitter. I'm gonna make you the designated hitter because I know out of 100 swings, I'm gonna get 40 home runs out of you. You know what I mean? So, like, we have to start thinking about that. We have to start thinking about that about our crews. But everybody wants to be the point man. I can't paint like Slim, but everybody, but I know the reaction that Slim gets from painting the Kobe and his daughter, and now I want to try to do it. Nah, but I'm actually good at this. Why don't I go over here? Let Slim be great at what he does, and let you do what you do over here. Because once we do it as a whole, now the completion is more incredible than me trying to get a better 24 Kobe than Slim did. You know what I mean? Like, no, be great at what you're great at. You know, and that's what. And then also, by being a maximizer, it showed me how I know how to use my relationships and resources. You know, I know when I don't ever try to be the smartest person at the table. Because if somebody's at the table or in the room with me and I can't take heed to their suggestions, their information, their imagination, their answers to something, their solutions, and I'm always saying, no, I got it, or no, we're going to do it this way, then I'm in the wrong room. I'm at the wrong table. You know, because whoever you're around should always be able to make suggestions to you that make sense. If you got the answers all the time, then you need to get with some people that got more answers than you to be great.
Yeah.
You know,
Building
so,
on yourself.
I try to do that too,
Building
man.
yourself.
Or I
Man,
try
you
to
talk-
get the smartest people around each other, you know, to make the best thing work. If I know I'm putting together a basketball game, I'm not going to get my 4 accountants to play if they don't play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get those people who actually can bring home the solution and the answer to fix the problem that we're currently dealing with.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of
Speaking of
chiefs, we need some
current
Indians.
events, right? I'm sorry. Speaking of currently, you know, how are you dealing with the COVID, man, the shut in and all the quarantine, man? As a hip hop artist, how are you actually dealing with COVID-19 and the shutdown that's happened?
Well, it's tough, you know, because I make most of my money on the road. So I lost 6 figures just by not going on tour, you know, almost double 6 figures, you know, just by not going on tour. So since I don't have a current active state of being on the radio and being in the hip hop world like that, that's a body blow to me. You know what I mean? And people who are like me, because we understand what we are. We are performing artists now who just have classic records, you know? So if we don't get to go on the road, that puts a dent in our wallet. That puts a dent in your wallet, then that puts a backlog to your bills and everything, your finances. But for me, I don't look at the glass half empty or half full. You know, I look at it as full. You know, I look at it as full. Like I say to myself, how can I remain and stay safe and follow code of what it is that we have to do to be safe and to maneuver through this pandemic or plandemic or whatever you want to call it, you know. But so maneuvering through that, you understand and you see things that wouldn't be attractive to you before, and your creativity should spark that, and your imagination should spark that to create content in some capacity. And then you have to figure out, how do I monetize that and get that to the people? You know, a lot of people were mad because they were stuck at home where they live, right? But they created where they live when outside was open. So now that you're stuck there, you're mad that you created that space to live in, to be stuck in. I was happy to be stuck in my place. You know, I got a studio, I can be creative. You know, it's like you got to be careful of the home you build, because if you build something effed up, then and you have to sit there, then you're stuck. And I think that's the problem. Like, I didn't feel stuck. You know, I just felt like I couldn't go out, so I couldn't expand and be abroad. But that made me work harder on and learn from my ups and my downs. It made me learn what my weaknesses were, and it made me learn what my strengths are in another type of level, on a 3-degree level. And I love that I got in tune with my weaknesses, because I'll give y'all a gem right now. I've been around studio equipment probably for over 30 years and didn't really know how to work it in its full capacity. And I own it. Wow. So what that said to me is, I have been tripping. So what I did in the pandemic, I called friends up, I got on YouTube, and I said, I can't have all this equipment here and not know how to work it. And it made me realize, damn, I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars on engineers every year because I just don't know how to work it. See, I come from a family that I didn't have a dad, right? And because my dad wasn't around, I didn't have a male figure that told me, boy, come over here and nail this in with me. Come over here and get up under this car with me. Come over here and paint this with me. I didn't have that, right? So when I got money early, I got money young, 19, 20 years old. When I got money now, I was paying for everything. Oh, Ma, you need that? Call him and he gonna fix it. Oh, Ma, that's what's up, you need that? We're gonna take that there and get it fixed. Really, I wasn't the one banging the hammer. So when I got to my place, an ex-partner of mine was like, some friends were saying, man, you gotta paint a wall in here, something, dude, because they come from that of having those male mentors that showed them, look, get your hands dirty, you know what I mean? Because after you do that, you feel more invested instead of just being economically invested. You feel sweat equity invested in it. You know what I mean? So when somebody, you know, walking on your floor is wrong or putting their feet on something, or you got a different, like when you paying for it, when you paying for it, you like, come on, man, I gotta buy another one. But when you actually put that sweat equity in, it's like, come on, man, you know how many hours I spend over there putting that, you know what I mean? And it's not about money. So that now I try to get involved. When I come in, I still hire people for certain things, but that's only if I haven't tried first.
There you go.
True. You said something about people actually, you know, taking care of what they actually put hands in on. I kid you not, I did a mural with school behind the school on Huntington in North New Jersey, in the apartment across the street, the complex. The community helped to paint that.
Wow.
And they never once, even to this date, nobody ever defaced it with no graffiti at all. And it's been there for like about a good 15 years. So that's just proof to tell you, the community does it together, they're going to look out for it.
Salute, man. You know the African proverb, right? The old African proverb.
Take a village, man.
It take a village, but if you get them to help you, if you get the youth and the next generation to help you build that village, if they help you build it, if the African proverbs say, if you do not get the village or the youth or the next generation to help you build it, then they will be the ones to burn it and tear it down. You see what I'm saying? So you have to get the youth and the next generation. I don't care what we think. It's not about us no more. It's not. If you're over 30 years old, it's not about you no more.
True.
You feel what I'm saying?
True.
It's about building up the next generation, so that when they get 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, they be able to push the needle forward of what your mindset was. That's why we have that's why we have people putting the people that they love into position. But we need to put our people into position so that our children are safe, protected, educated, healthy. You know what I mean? Have employment. And employment is about to change too, man.
Yeah, I see, man. It's crazy.
Too many unemployed people out there. It's about to change, man.
Yeah, I mean, like right about now, when people are used to not working and sitting back, then when they have to come back out, they're forcing people to actually get tested to actually work in the jobs they already had already. So that's kind of throwing people in the whack too, because they feel like, I haven't heard of a vaccine for this thing yet. So now, if you have it, what they're going to do? Now you got to have another 2 weeks in quarantine, and that means you can't work. Or they also said it was certain symptoms might seem like you have COVID, but that's just like you take a medicine for something that deals with headache, backache, leg pain. But it's not that it's taking care of everything, but it's not just like, it's just crazy. They're just kind of like throwing me into a bad situation, bro. Yeah. Because it's not giving me the right advice when they talk about how we deal with this. They don't have a plan for it yet.
Man, I don't think they even know what COVID is, man. You know, you have some doctors saying, oh, it's no way in the world you should be wearing these masks. And you have other doctors saying, please wear the mask, protecting everybody. Nobody knows what it is, man. So whatever it is, be safe. Protect yourself. Yeah. Protect your family. If you don't know what something is, and they're saying that it can potentially, some droplets, you can breathe it in, you can inhale it and touch it, just protect yourself. And if you find out it's not true later, then you have protected yourself just in case. But if you find out that it is true and you haven't been doing it, then you just infected yourself. You know what I mean? Protect yourself, keep your family safe, be creative so that you come out differently on the other side of this when it's over. Basically, you know what I mean?
Hey, dude, on the show, man, we have a part 2 where we ask you to do a word. Now, don't tell us the word. I just want you to get a word in your mind, and I want you to text it over to Slim, like right now.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and Joe. You don't even know that I already went through that already.
Oh, that's smooth.
Oh, say word.
Reached out to my boy. He gave me the word, and then
I didn't know what that was for.
Yeah.
So wait, so did you?
You don't tell them what it is. I'm gonna raise this up.
I was about to show him. I got it. I carry it on my wrist now.
No, don't lift it up. Hold on.
Don't tell them. But this is what you look up. This is what you know.
Oh, that's the word?
That's the word. I wrote it down and changed it to this right here.
Yo, that's crazy. That's dope.
I think it gotta be
Community
or North. I'm jumping out of the
Look. Joe was closer, at least, but
okay. All right, hold on. Hold it up. Wait a minute. Let me think. Joe, you said community.
Yeah.
Dang. Now, see, normally this is the part where I cheat and I go on Rudolph's Instagram when the tattoo up. But I ain't gonna cheat. I'm out. I'm out. I don't know.
What about you, Joe? One last chance.
Oh man.
I would say it is community because I see the but then again, I don't know, yo. He
building. Yeah, I get. I'm sorry.
Y'all want me to show?
Yeah, let them know what it is.
Let me see. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Is it coming out?
It's coming out a little blurry, but
yeah.
It say connector.
Connector.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. So we went ahead of you guys and let you know y'all thought we was gonna got you again, brothers. You know what I'm saying? Look, I want to ask you this though. What does art mean to you?
Oh man, art is so many different things, man. But it means the expression of understanding one's creative self, right? It's the expression, or not even just the understanding, it's the expression of one's mindset. You know what I mean? It's the expressions of one's mindset. Because no matter if you have a sloppy penmanship, if you feel something and think something, somebody in Brazil might say that's unbelievable the way he or she painted or drew this. If you have a thought in your mind about pictures or things, objects, and you consolidate them in some way, somebody might say, wow, that's a Picasso, or Basquiat, or, or Slim, you know what I mean? So it's just art is the expressions of one's mindset, because the more you know, the more you do, right? The more you think, the more things, that understanding and knowledge that you have, the more things that you create that you didn't even know you could create. And I'll give you an example. When you're in a car, right? When you're in a vehicle, the vehicles these days in America and abroad, the headlights are only built to see 200 feet in front of you. But that's just when it's not moving. When it's moving, you see another 200 feet. You move again, you see another 200 feet. As you move, you start to see 200 more feet from those destinations, from those locations. But what you start to see is different on-ramps and exit ramps and destination signs that you didn't even know exist. And off of the highway, you see this place like, I didn't know that was there, that you want to explore. So when you were just sitting still, you couldn't tell me where you were going because you didn't even know it existed. So as you start moving, you start to realize like, wow, this thing is bigger than I thought. And that's what I believe art is. So that's what I say, art is your mindset. As your mindset grows, your art will grow.
Definitely, man. That was a great answer to that, man. I want you to let me know what the Bed of Art project is about. Can you let me know about the Better Art project? Yeah, man,
the Better Art program, man. It's a program that was initiated by my man, Kenny Gifford. He called me one day and said, dude, let's get some beds, man, and paint them and give them to families. And I was like, paint them? Like, what do you mean? Like, me and you get a brush and just paint different colors? He was like, nah. He's like, I'm gonna let you handle that. I was like, nah, I got it. We're gonna bring in some artists from our community who get busy. You know, and if they need to bring in other artists too, then that's just well too. And let's paint these beds so now that it's not just a comfortable community thing we're doing for families families in need, but it becomes an investment piece because the artists that we bringing in have so much artistic equity in their brand and who they are, that by them painting these things on these canvas, these bed canvas, yes, it does something for the child and the family. It offsets the price. It gives them somewhere to lie their head, but it also has this art piece that, if kept in great condition, can increase in value. You know, as Slim grows in his artistic, genre or arena, then so does that bed that he created. You know, as Scent grows, as Poncho grows, as Bash continues to grow, then so does the beds that they created. And now those beds, who knows? And then we don't know who the children might become that are sleeping on these beds. Right. So now, when you auction these beds off, that you never know what these beds might be worth. You know what I mean? So,
well, you know what? I got another dope artist right here, Joe Woods. I would like for you, the next project that we have, to have him with us on that project, because he's crazy on this, on the art scene. And I need for our mayor to come in and actually video this thing, and we document the whole project.
Well, this is what I'm talking about doing next. I'm talking about doing a mural from the bottom of my hallway in my building, 211, all the way up to the top. So I would love for you, Sent, and Joe to come and do that. So in my building, we have the art studio. We have Gina over there who makes all of art, and she ships it to Asia and Europe countries. They buy her art. She's originally from Brooklyn. People don't know that's in the building. You know what I mean? And she does an amazing job. She does 3D art and all of that, and they buy her art overseas. So then, you know, come wrapping around there. So I would love an intro, maybe with some words when you walk in the building, something that inspires you immediately, you know what I mean? And then coming up that wall by Gina's, then Gina's you have art, you know, something that represents art and how she does art. Then wrapping around to mine, I want to be community, 211 Newark, and a studio, because I own a studio, you know what I mean? Okay. So have that. And then once we get around to the other wall, we have clothing design, you know what I mean? Up on the 3rd floor. So the clothing design, I want that to be there. And the rooftop, and clothing design, rooftop, you know what I mean? And then going around to the last door, he makes bathing suits and exotic women attire for dancers and stuff like that. So I want that to be the girl, the you know, and the making the fashion over there, you know what I mean? And all of it hip hop corporate.
That's dope.
I'm gonna bring the cameras in.
Word.
Cameras in. I'll take some flicks of everything, and we'll definitely document it, as you said, you know, something together. So I'm gonna let Slim, you lead that, and then
let's do it. Word up.
Yeah, man, we with it. I actually spoke to Sent the other yesterday. Me and him spoke, and he actually gave me a little insight on that.
He just left before I started the interview. He told me about y'all event, man, with the shooting and all of that.
Oh man, listen, just to get into it quick, we're in Elizabeth, and we're doing a mural for Marsha P. Johnson. So they gonna have their Pride Day on Saturday, but they asked us to do it, so we came there. And Malcolm Rowland was another muralist, and he was painting. He was almost done with his thing.
I know Malcolm. Yeah,
Malcolm, dope artist from Yendor Productions.
Yeah, so shout out. Yeah, Rodney been on my mind all day yesterday too. Yeah. So, word up.
Rodney Gilbert, shout out to you. Rest in peace. Great
Rodney Gilbert
person, right? So we hear this loud noise. I'm thinking it's a blowout, maybe a firework. And then I'm turning around. Do you see somebody stumbling around the corner? And then next you know, this black car swerve around. Like I saw Malcolm duck, I saw Scent duck, and then a car came down. I said, hold on, I need to duck. So that thing came driving across the street, like down the same street right past us after they shot off, and they did hit somebody. Unfortunately, that never happened when I was doing art. But I always feel like when we're doing art, we have a force field over us. Like it's some type of protective thing. I never really experienced no ill will when we on these walls. We get love. It was just unfortunate that it happened, you know?
Right. But God bless the person
right after that.
Yeah, God bless the person that did get hit, man, for real.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Even in a time like this, stuff still happen in that way. So that's why we need to reach the minds of many. We need to reach the minds of the people and re-educate them and actually provide them with things that's going to take their mind away from doing these things.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're right, bro.
I think it's super dope that you did the bed thing, and I know I was following a little bit in the information that we kind of
shout out to Redman too.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Redman.
That you
Listen,
did
I could not let you go without saying,
man. Like it was really phenomenal, but more so, and I'm only gonna speak for myself. It kind of encouraged me, like, dang, that's dope. Like, who would think that you could buy a bed? And then the fact about it, what really kind of had me psyched up, because and these two will always tell you, I'm always down for my team. It had me.
I believe that though, man. I believe that.
Like
you give me that energy always.
Like, yo, like Slim somebody about to be sleeping on Slim bed. Like, that's crazy. I'm about to buy a new bed. I don't even want to go to the store now. I'm about to call you. Look, dude, I'm gonna just buy the bed and just have Slim make it so I could feel, it's worth it. But it put a level of, I don't know, it encouraged you. You know what I'm saying? It encouraged you. And these are the things that, as I said earlier, that we have to do. Like, that's like, who would think, like, yo, we gonna buy some beds and we gonna have all these artists come through and they just gonna do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Even the one that, I don't know who did it, but the one that said Redman on it, I'm like,
yeah, Redman, he tagged himself and then Slim and finished it.
Like, that's a young kid who's gonna be like, well, yo, who's Redman? And they're gonna grow up and they're gonna listen to hip hop and they're gonna see it and then be like, yo, I'm sleeping on an actual Redman.
Signed by him.
Exactly.
Not signed, tagged by him.
There it is. So I gotta speak.
It's amazing, and it's like, yo, and it's crazy that you said that you had a building, because one of my biggest projects is for that I want to do and I'm going to do is called the Angelite House, and the Angelite House is pretty much a building, but the top of it is shaped as a house. So when people can know that they come in, they're comfortable. You're always comfortable at home.
Right.
So I wanted to be a building where we're able to teach dance, where we're able to teach art, where we're able to not only do that we bring the people that are on drugs, that are fighting drug addiction, we bring the gym in, fitness fast team, and help them physically get better. And
that's right, man.
Literacy and different things like that. Like, and of course you're gonna have the top floor, which is Angelite Productions, studio, of course. It's gonna be a great atmosphere, and by you just saying like, yo, I got a building, I'm like, oh, I gotta get me a building. But what I will do is say, now I have to be more closer to you. So I will say I am gonna reach out, because I gotta learn how you did that.
Man, like we open, man. Like Slim, you definitely can bring the crew to the call, man. Okay. Word up. I would love for you to come onto the call, man, because that's what it's about, right? And like I said, no disrespect to my Latinos and Latinas in the North Ward and some in the West and some in the East, and no disrespect to my transients, the people who papers are not all the way together yet in the East Ward and all of that, but they stick together. Right. Now the black people in Newark, New Jersey, we're considered to have the South Ward and the West Ward, right? South Ward is the biggest ward. You can't become mayor in the city of Newark without winning in the South Ward. You know what I mean? Or any big seat in Newark without winning the South Ward. They have the most voters. But if the South Ward and the West Ward are both us, and I'm not really talking politics, I'm just talking about united. If we're not united, and the North Ward, who doesn't have as many people as the South Ward, seems stronger, why are they seem stronger? Because they're united. They have centers. They have baseball teams. They have employers that get together, and we don't have that, but we have more of.
Yeah. But I gotta say this to you, man, because without, I want to make sure. Cause you spoke about Redman, and just let me know if it was no Red the Meth album. Could it have been a duo and Redman album, or can it be a project that you two go together on, or just go in?
I mean, like, one thing I've always like kept like separated, like, that's my guy. You know what I mean? We just happened to do the same thing, and Redman was my DJ before he was solo by himself. And I introduced him to every sermon. A lot of people don't know that. There was that connector again. You know what I mean? But I think that Red was just on a whole nother path. I do think that if anybody did anything with Redman when he was hot, they would have catapulted. You know, I think that you have to be in a space, that space, and Redman and I have always been in a space of friendship. And one of my pet peeves was back then too is I didn't want to disrupt that friendship with some business. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, it can go both ways. We just never really chose that path. But I do believe when you love somebody, you care for somebody, or you rock with somebody, you create opportunity for them. You know what I mean? And we did a song. We got a song together. You know, me, him, and Tretch got one iller together, man. Killer. Me, him, and Mr. Cheeks got a joint together. He got a joint with Laws of the Underground. He came through the video, all of that type of stuff. When we were coming out back then, the thing was you didn't do records with each other without talking to your management. So I remember going up to Tretch one time, and Tretch is my brother. But I remember going up to Tretch one time and say, yo, Tretch, we need to do a joint together. And he was like, yo, I'm with it. Just tell Shakim and Latifah to set it up with your management. You know, we don't do that nowadays. You know, because that's the way we were taught. We were taught we were taught that way, so that way would keep us separated. You know what I mean? And it's not about separation, man. It's about being together. It's about, can you imagine if we would have had classic records with us from the 90s that we can play now? They would be classics. Instead of doing records now and playing them. You know what I mean? If we would have had those 90 records together. Why you think Redman and Tretch don't have a record together? Why you think Do It All, Laws of the Underground, and Tretch, and Naughty by Nature, and Rod Digger, and all? Why do you think all of us don't have? It sounds crazy now to think about it. For me, anyway.
It is crazy. That could have been like a self-destruction song. You know how powerful that was. That was crazy, man. I gotta ask you this though. What kind of projects can we look forward to from you in the near future? Can you let me know about whether it's hip hop or videos or things you're going to have coming out down the line that you can actually speak on?
Man, I leave for LA in 2 weeks. I'm going out there to do a movie with Dame Dash. And some people that he's producing a movie for. It's called Dead Money Ballers. And so we're going out there. It's a zombie movie. I never did a zombie movie before.
Hey, yo, listen, whatever happens, just keep running, Doc. Don't you? Hey, yo, running. All that training that you done did.
What?
Be the first one to die.
You done did.
Real, don't die.
Hey, yo, because I'm going to keep it real, yo. I don't want to watch the movie and be like, damn, dude, don't trip. Please don't trip. Please don't trip. Get your whole half leg chewed the hell off.
If Dame Dash is doing it, then you know ain't nobody tripping like that in it. You know, you got to keep it authentic. But, you know, we got the Dead Money Ballers that we doing. We also have, you know, I'm going out there, man, and shout out to Shakim and Queen Latifah. She's doing Equalizer, so hopefully I can get a little part in that right there. You know, we're going out there to kind of keep that going. And I also got my album, man. You know, this is the most personal album that I've done. It's called Brenda's Son. My mom's name is Brenda, you know, and she narrates the album for me. I didn't put a lot of people on the album because it's about reflecting on my past and my present and who I am today. Like I said, you know, I've always been honest when I made my music, but I've never been personal. And I think it's two different things, meaning like, you know, rappers, we brag, we boast, you know, we exaggerate, but I never really lied on my albums because that's the way I was taught. The way I was taught the hip hop, you didn't really lie. You know, you can say things that was exaggeration, but you never really just straight up lied. You wasn't doing it, then you wasn't doing it. You know, and with this album, I always omitted my personal. You know, like if I was going through something in my life or my family, I always omitted that from my art. But now, when I started studying great writers again, just reflecting on a Stevie Wonder who wrote about his child and having his baby and going through all of that, and Marvin Gaye, who wrote about his breakup with his wife at the time, and I think he went to London and do that. And Barry Gordy told him, man, you're the biggest artist in the world right now. You're a sex symbol. Nobody is buying a record with you talking about breaking up with a girl. and it became his biggest album ever. You know what I mean? So that's because it was personal.
Wow.
So one thing I learned about being personal is you don't have to like the beat. You might not like certain flows, but one thing you can't tell me is that my words are not authentic. You can't tell me that these are not my truths. You can't tell me like I didn't live this, because every single word on there I actually lived. I've tasted, I've touched, or somebody next to me, I'm telling the story about me being next to him in some capacity, every word. And that had put me in a vulnerable place. You know what I mean? Because I've never let anybody in like that. So if you like Lords of the Underground and you like Do It All from Lords of the Underground, then you're gonna respect, it's gonna be a reintroduction to those fans. But if you don't know Lords of the Underground and you don't know Do It All, then it's an introduction to them. You know, so I feel really good about the project, man. We work.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, the Mayor is on the album though. That's the only one I got to think of, the Mayor. And Leah Janae, my niece. So Leah Janae, the Mayor, my homegirl Tia Hope, but they're in background situations other than the Mayor. He's like the actual feature on the song. But other than that, I don't really have any features on the song.
Well, when you do those movies and you need some art, you know.
Hey, that ain't nothing but to say, because
I got some art.
Name is a big art gallery type of guy. We're gonna be shooting a lot of scenes in a couple of his homes and his art gallery and his studio. You know, he owns a network, Dame Dash Studios. So yeah, he throws art up in there all the time. So I'm sure.
You can come by my crib, baby.
Art named L.
Tell you, listen.
You come by my crib. You come by my crib, you can see all kinds of art. All kinds of art.
The one thing I definitely can say about you Do It All, and it's crazy because it was so profound to me, and I just kind of come out with it. When we were on the chat, you know, we were working out together.
Right.
I had my show that I did, and I haven't sung in years. I did all that like when I was younger, in my 20s, almost signed and all of that. I called Joe, and Joe actually made the flyer for me. So when I was talking to Croc, shout out to Coach Croc, Cowboy, ill trainer, man. If y'all need to get your weight up, that's the man to go to.
Right.
He was like, yo, put it in the chat. So I put it in the chat, and then I'm scrolling through, and I'm nervous. I'm like, dang, I don't know what people gonna think. And when I see your name pop up, hey, yo, congratulations to you. I'm like,
word up.
What? So I kind of kept that there, and I deleted it. I screenshotted that joint. Like,
I'm gonna sleep with this.
Like, cause you know what? Out of everybody, I was, you know, they wasn't really saying nothing. It was like, okay, that's dope, blah blah. But then I get a congratulations. I'm like, damn, man. Congratulations.
That's what it is, man. Like one thing I learned, man. When you talk about hope and gathering people, like let's look at churches, right? Churches, if they get 1,000 members, that church becomes a millionaire, right?
Right. Mega church.
But because what they're doing is they're giving hope to people. And yeah, it comes at a 10% tithing fee or whatever that is. But they're selling, in lack of better words, they're selling hope to people. And belief and hope makes people better, right? It makes them strive to be better, to better themselves, to better their best, to make. So why can't we give that to people that we rock with?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why do we always have to talk about the negative? Nah, let's build up the positive so it can overshadow that negative. Or maybe if we build up the positive, it's gonna make them get the negative right anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's give hope to people. Let's give inspiration to people. And I think that you know, being inspired by somebody is better than being influenced. Don't get me wrong. Influences are powerful. Being an influence to someone is powerful. But what is better to me is being inspired by someone. Because when you're influenced by someone or something, I kind of think you're you're kind of being under the influence of, like you're kind of like that thing or like that person. You kind of got a remnant of that because you're influenced by it or that person. But when you're inspired by somebody, it comes from within. You want to add and build on to what they have created already. It's in spirit with it. You know what I mean? It's you know, so when you come from that angle, you're able to add on. That's why I want anybody that come after me doing anything to be way better than me, because I want to I want to inspire like me. I want to be in spirit with them, you know, because if I do that, then all that's gonna do is give them hope to take what I already did and catapult it, you know.
Right.
So, man,
you know what I want to say to you, man? It's a little note that people might not know. Like you played a certain sport when you were younger, man. Like, most people might not know that. Just let me know about what that sport was, man.
Man, baseball, man. I thought I was gonna be a New York Yankee, man. I'd probably been retired about 6 years ago or something if I was. But one of my dudes, like I got a couple of dudes that I really rock with too. They baseball coaches at colleges. Like these are my players that I played with. They baseball coaches at colleges. One of my dudes played for the Cubs. Him and I played on the same team together. My man Keith Williams played for Chicago. Real dope player out of Newark too. You know, and we used to travel. We used to travel to different states playing. And I was pretty all right, man. And I thought I was gonna be a New York Yankee. So that knee started going crickety.
See, that's something that people wouldn't know about you, understand?
Yeah,
you have a great story, and it's not just a story. You like a straight up guy, man. Like you're not that type of person that just acts fake and phony. And I appreciate that because you didn't have to gravitate to me the way you did at times, but you always been straight up and consistent with the way you were, you know, about community, about showing love, about being straight up. And I never felt like you were being shady at all. So I want to say, man, I truly appreciate you, brother. Do It All, Dupré Kelly, for having the time coming on to Control the Cool TV with my boy Joe Woods and Kinsler. We want you to come back. The next time you come back, we're going to be doing a show. 2 live artists and 1 photographer, and you're going to be performing, and we're going to have a little showcase, brother.
Man, let's go.
That's in my mind right now.
Let's get it, man. When the album come back too, man, let's get it, man. We, you know, maybe we can be in the same room this time. Me, you, Joe, you know, Mir. You know, let's get in the same room, man. Have some fun. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. We're gonna push that album, man. Let them know that single that you got to drop too, man.
I got a joint coming out with the mayor first. It's called Keep the Faith. Excited about it, man. The mayor's doing some spoken word on it. Shout out to Raj J. Baraka, man. You know, he was just doing spoken word on the SB's, killing it. You know, he's also on the album. And then after that, we got a joint called Life. You know, the Life, you did a painting for that joint on set. You know, it's gonna be crazy, man. You're in the video actually too.
Yeah, man.
Sunday. Yeah, he's in the video, definitely. And then Sunday, we're doing a video, man, in Newark called At Risk. Just talking about how growing up in Newark, New Jersey, I felt at risk. And at times, I still feel at risk here. You know, as going through our times that we're showing, you know, you'll see that somebody's at risk, you know?
Yeah. So I just want to say, man, well, first I'm going to say, this is our unofficial sponsor, Swedish Fish.
I see that bag cracked open like the Liberty Bell, too.
Yeah, brother, yeah.
Every little inside got some candy going. Got some candy going.
Yeah, but I really appreciate you, brother, for coming through, man. We definitely want to have you coming back. You got Do It All, Dupré Kelly from the Laws and Underground, historic character.
Don't put that accent on that E.
Dupré. She getting that cheap rocking, having you TikToking all day long, right? So we appreciate you, Dupré Kelly. Do It All, man. I appreciate you. I said it like 5 times, but I really do, man. And I believe that next time, if you win, you will win.
Yes,
for council,
man.
Whatever you try to go for, because you're gonna have our support this time.
Yes,
you had it, but you gonna have more.
Man, thank you, man.
You got that Control the Cool support, man.
Hey, man, yo, I love y'all name. Word is bomb, man. Y'all definitely should be recording the audios of these things too, man, and create content for yourself. Keep them, you know, archive them, because content is going to definitely be worth some money, man. And Control the Cool, oh my God, there's so many facets that you guys can go to, man. I salute you guys, man, because I believe in that, man. So Control the Cool, like the other side of the pillow, baby.
Yes, man. Listen, before we go, I just wanted to tell you again on behalf of myself, everybody here, we thank you for just rocking with us. And me personally, thank you so much for even, like I said, that little text is just congratulations. the show was very successful. Joe was there.
Wow.
He couldn't make it, but because of that show, you know, I did no Instagram or anything. That was all by word of mouth. We packed the place out. You know, so we look forward to having another one next year in July. That's gonna be my final album. It's gonna be called The Rise of.
Hey man, maybe you know you can hold a verse for me or something, man.
Hey, listen,
maybe you know, and vice versa. You get a chorus on something we doing. That's
fun. Let's do it. Wait, listen. All I need is a phone call. Hey yo, come.
One second.
Word up. Hey yo, see man, this
controlling the cool, man. It's
what I mean.
Big time.
For all of our audience, for everybody that's watching, this is what Control the Cool was all about. We're connecting and we're building, man. And this started with just an idea, and then where we just got.
Yeah, my bad, dog.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Listen, all I need is a phone call.
Oh.
That's all I need.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. Nah, you got it. Let's get it, man.
Yeah,
make some magic, have some fun. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna link you to my son too, Dupré. I'm gonna link you
he's
to
dope,
my son,
man.
Word.
He's dope.
Yo.
He's dope.
Yeah,
I like him.
I just think you need a little bit you know, motivation.
Motivation, that's what's up.
Yeah, bro. Like, or somebody like, you know, if he goes into a studio one day, but I'm telling you, for him to hear you say that, because he's going to see, I'm going to show him this when we put it out that you said this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was trying to let people know, man.
I remember you playing the joint while we was painting the beds, man, and he's dope. I like his vibe. He got a good vibe.
Yeah, shout out to Slick. You know, he's on all you know, Apple Music and all that good stuff, Spotify. His thing is called Something for Nothing. So that's SLIQQ. So check that out, man.
Or check them out, man. We gotta support each other, man.
Definitely. We about to wrap it up, man. We appreciate your time, brother. You know, shout out to Amir, Joe, Dupré, goes in the underground, hip hop, all this. So we make the rules.
We control
the cool.
We out.
Word.
Good, brother. Be good.
Peace.
Peace,
Thank you,
Kings. No doubt.